And what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy for you in the life easy. Do you see my smiles, y'all? Do you see my smiles? You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay always happy when he doing scary reactions, man. You know what I'm saying? What it is, man. What time it is, Jay? What time it is right now? You know what I'm saying? It's 2:20 a.m., man, for your boy Jay Eastern time. So y'all sit back, just relax, you know what I mean? Don't bust my balls, you know what I mean? And enjoy the video, you know, but we got 3 terrifying true night out horror stories, man. For all my new subscribers and new viewers, if y'all do want to go check out all of my scare reactions, you know what I mean? It is in the playlist section over yonder, man. And I really, really encourage everybody, because like I said, y'all, it's getting real dangerous out here. So I really, really encourage everybody, man, to stay safe, man. Stop always trying to be outside. Y'all read this freaking title, 3 terrifying true night out horror stories. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people think it's lame to stay inside. One thing about Jay, I'm a homebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm a homebody, bro. It's too much danger out there. You feel me? I feel, even though I don't feel like you're 100% safe anywhere, but I feel more safer in here. You know what I'm saying? It's too many weird people out there, man. I'll be in my own world in here. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, I'm gonna just tell y'all this, don't bust my balls. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, if I ain't got nothing to do, I ain't finna go out. A freak motherfucker, I ain't a person that gonna be looking, especially the grind that I'm on. I feel like the 20s, bro, and we gonna preach a little bit, so y'all sit back and relax, you know what I mean? Just watch your boy Jay Willie Silly for a minute. I be trying to teach y'all whenever I feel like I can teach the people that's around my age, because I feel like it's a lot of people that's my age, because I'm 23, partner. You know what I mean? I'm 23. So, you know, a lot of people my age ain't got no dang common sense. See, I ain't gonna lie, God gave me the wisdom and the understanding, you know what I'm saying, to about this life. So he made life a little bit more easy for me. He unveiled my eyes a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of bit. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is, man, 20s is supposed to be the time of work. You feel me? My mindset is I work now, have fun later. These mother effers gonna be having fun right now and working later. I go out, you know what I'm saying, when I got the needs to go out. But one thing I realized, it costs money going out. Did you miss me? It's free inside the crib. Ain't really free inside the crib because you got to pay the light bill. But you're saving more money in the crib, though. Shoot, name one thing we can do for real when we go outside that's free. Go look at the waterfalls and, you know, go look at the lake and whatnot. But if you're trying to do something, you going to cost some money. Motherfucker, even if you're trying to buy water, motherfucker, it's a $2. You know what I'm saying? It's too expensive outside nowadays, man. Stay my butt inside, man. Ain't, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling inside. If it too expensive, man, nowadays, man. Stay your butt inside, G. Thumbnail time. It's too expensive, man. We gotta stay inside, y'all, bro. Once you step outside, man, that cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, heck no.
Last year, when all my friends were home from college for the summer, we decided to go out and party as much as we could, especially since some of them were moving away for good after that summer. All of us were old enough to go out and drink legally by then, so most nights we just hit up the local bars until they closed. One specific weekend, while the big group of us was out, my parents just happened to be out of town. Instead of staying out until 2 or 3 in the morning, I suggested that we go back to my parents' place to continue the party. Everyone loved the idea. I told everyone that they could drink as much as they wanted as long as they crashed at my place, which everyone agreed to. We went back to the house around 11:30 that night. I suspected a decent amount of people, but
It's a beautiful place.
Surprised at just how many people showed up. My parents had a huge house, and the closest neighbors were at the end of the street, so usually we could be as loud as we wanted without being disruptive. They also had a pool, which usually got my friends excited. I started looking around at all the people, and I noticed that there were several of them I didn't recognize. When I asked one of my friends who all these people were, they just gave me the generic friend of a friend response.
Bro, F all that friend of a friend. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, if I don't know you, bro, you need to get out of my house, bro. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Only a few people know where I live. A few. So I know if somebody know where I live, I know who it is. Because ain't too many people come over here. I probably count on my one hand, probably count a little bit on my second. But ain't too many people know where I live, man. So mother, if I know where I live, best believe I got you in my mind, brother. You know where I live? Oh, it's only a certain amount of people that know I live. I don't even think I can feel the whole 2 hands. You feel me? But I don't trust a dang soul, bro. People weird nowadays, bro. People is weird, y'all. You let people know freaking where you live. A friend of a friend, motherfucker. If you ain't a friend of Jay, get the freak out. Know you? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what, man? I ain't finna,
At first, it didn't seem so weird. Most of the strangers that I didn't recognize were surrounded by people that I did recognize.
I don't care about none of that,
They
boy.
were joking around and being an active part of conversations. At 2 a.m, a bunch of the people at the house decided to jump into the pool. There must have been 15 people in the pool. I didn't jump in because I was sitting on the deck with my girlfriend just talking. While I was listening to her talk, I noticed that there was a strange guy standing in the living room of the house looking out the window at the pool. He had a red cup in his hand just like a lot of other people did. Something about this guy was off though. He looked older than us. Not like old man old, but definitely older than his early 20s. My girlfriend could tell I was distracted and asked me what was wrong. I asked her if she knew who that guy was, and she told me she didn't. She said our friend Shane may know who it is. I stood up on the deck trying to locate Shane. While I was standing there scanning everyone in the pool, my girlfriend said the same thing I did. She thought the guy seemed a little off also. I didn't have to look very far for Shane because he ended up walking onto the deck right at that moment. I asked him about the weird guy in the living room, and he didn't know who it was either. He said he was pretty sure that he came in with Dustin's cousin. Of course, Dustin's cousin was also someone I didn't know very well. I was going to ask Dustin about this guy, but Shane informed me that Dustin, as well as his cousin, had left already since neither one of them had been drinking. I figured that was just my luck. I ended up confronting the strange man and asked him what his name was. He just stared at me with a blank expression. It was like I asked him an impossible question. Then he started to make this weird humming sound. I thought the guy was about to overheat from the question. I took the red cup from his hand and told him to sit on the couch. I honestly thought that this guy just had entirely too much to drink. I figured I would let him sleep here since there was no way I was letting this guy into a car.
Yeah, bro, you freaking too friendly. You know what I'm saying? The heck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hope. See, you too friendly, bro. It's a dang problem. People like you don't make it in this world, man. You gotta have some boundaries, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you, brother. Hopefully you do not die on the way home. Hopefully you don't get no type of car crash. But I don't know you, bro. So for you to be even here is setting me off automatically. And for you to even be sleeping here, I don't know you from a can of paint. But people just try to do things because they try to have a good heart. That good heart gets you killed, but having a good heart sometimes gets you killed. I'm sorry. You got to know when to cut it off and when to cut it on. A lot of y'all too good, man. A lot of y'all try to be too dang good. Even Jesus had boundaries. Even God had boundaries. Now, you can't just do whatever you want to do to God. You can't just do whatever you want to do to Jesus. You couldn't just do it to him. But y'all be trying to be so much holier than them. Even they got boundaries. You ain't got boundaries. You want to be such a good person. All right, be too good, get yourself killed. I can't tell you how many people got killed for trying to be too good. God gave them all the type of warnings they needed. The gut feelings, the warnings just through the roof. But yet you trying to ignore the warnings because you want to be a good person. Yeah, man, just don't go nowhere, man. Just sleep here. I don't want you to be drunk and driving. You know what I mean? I feel some way about you. I feel a way about you. You got to get the freak out. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be an a-hole. I'm trying to be that guy. But I don't feel no type of way. Like for broski right here on Bees. Like when it comes to you, I don't feel no type of way with nobody else in the pool. Everybody else chilling in the pool, I feel good. But right when I look over there to the window, I feel some type of way about you. Why do I feel some type of way about you? That's how I feel when it comes to people, when I got gut feelings about somebody. I ain't got no gut feeling about nobody else around here but you. So like I said, I'd rather trip than be alive. I'd rather trip and be alive than not trip and be dead. It's a lot of people that should have tripped, but didn't trip and they ended up being dead. Had a gut feeling, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's just a coincidence, ended up being dead. If I'm tripping, at least I'm tripping alive. But I ain't finna not trip and be dead now.
I had to basically force the guy to sit on the couch, and when he did, he just continued staring in front of him. It was probably the weirdest interaction I've ever had in my entire life. Once he was on the couch, I went back to Shane and my girlfriend, and I told them that I was gonna hurt Dustin tomorrow for leaving the strange dude at my house. I tried calling and texting Dustin, but he didn't answer.
Shoot.
For the next couple of hours, people continued to party a little bit, but eventually they all started to fade.
My fault.
During that time, I would look over to the couch and the strange man was still just sitting there, staring at nothing. I started to suspect that this guy might have been partying with something else. At 4 a.m, almost everyone was asleep. My girlfriend went to bed about 30 minutes prior. When I went into the living room, there were about 7 people asleep on the couches and floor, but the strange guy was gone. I asked one of my friends in the living room who was still awake if he saw the strange guy, and he said that he saw him leave about 20 minutes ago. I was upset that he left in the condition he was in, but deep down, I was just happy he wasn't in my house anymore. I got into my bed next to my girlfriend, and I fell asleep almost instantly. I have that strange sensation when you're sleeping and you feel like someone is watching you. I'm not sure of the exact time, but it was still dark in my room when the sensation woke me up. I basically sat up in bed quickly, and when I did, I saw someone leaving my room. I thought it was my girlfriend going to the bathroom, until I went to lie back down and saw that my girlfriend was next to me, still asleep. I jumped out of bed. I was terrified and honestly a little confused. The only thing that came to mind was that one of my friends had to be drunk and probably accidentally wandered into my bedroom. I went downstairs and I could hear a weird noise. It sounded like someone was digging for something in a drawer or cabinet.
Motherfucker trying to get a knife!
Where I saw a bunch of my friends still asleep. Next to the living room is the kitchen, where I expected to see one of my messed up friends, but nobody was in there. Down the hall that's off of the kitchen, I saw light coming from the room on the right. That's my dad's office. I snuck down the hall and hid behind a giant plant that's outside my office. In that room was the strange guy from before, and he was rummaging through all my dad's desk drawers. Part of me wanted to confront this guy and act like a hero, but for some reason I was terrified. I could see his face from where I was hiding, and he still had that expressionless look on his face as he was going through all the desk drawers. I didn't want him to see me, so before he left the office, I snuck back down the hall and into the kitchen. Before I could make it to the stairs, I heard him coming down the hall. I didn't want this guy to know I was awake, so I basically grabbed a blanket from one of my sleeping friends, and I dove onto the ground in the living room and pretended like I was asleep. I heard the guy walk into the living room, and he just stood there. I could hear him breathing. He probably stood there for 5 minutes, which felt like an eternity. Every once in a while, when he was standing there, he would make that weird noise he was making before. After those 5 minutes, he went back into the kitchen. Just like in the office, I could hear him going through one of the drawers.
Look, bro, I'm not finna fake like I'm asleep, bro. You know what I'm saying? Obviously something wrong with you, man. Hey, look, bro. It's 7 of us, bro. And it's only one of this mother effer, man. I would have been like, oh my God, we got a serial killer in the house. Everybody wake the freak up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of person to be acting like everything okay. And I'm going to confront you. Like, if you was in my pop's office, I'm going to confront you right there, bro. What you doing, guy? You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of person, bro, to shove things. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? When something wrong, something wrong. And we finna act on that wrong immediately. I'm not the type of person finna be roaming through the house. What you roaming through your own house? You scared in your own house, man. I refuse to let anybody make me scared in my house. Man, what? You think I'm finna be sneaking around in my house? No, if anything, you finna be the one doing sneaking. 5, 5, 5. If you F around with the F around, you gonna F around and get F around. Keep it 30, I just need a couple rounds. Headshots gotta do ducking down. Face shots gotta do shut. You know what I'm saying? If you F around with the F around, you gonna F around and get F around. Keep it 30, I just need a couple rounds. Headshots gotta do ducking down. Face shots gotta do shuck. Whatever, the shorty with the 40, he ready in his glory. He trying to get your body and tell us homies his story. Think I look like I'm scared of my dang house, folks. You got a Picasso in your house. Think I'm finna be scared? You think I'm finna be scared of my own house? Dead man, dead man, dead man, yeah, that's you.
He wasn't in the kitchen very long.
I think that motherfucker in the kitchen, what you going through, man? First thing going through my mind, motherfucker, rummaging, trying to stab everybody in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You know something ain't right with the kid.
Before I knew it, he was back in the living room.
Hey, look here, man.
He was stomping over in my direction.
Look, man, he trying to kill somebody, man.
I felt useless. It felt like he was charging at me. I didn't know what to do.
Wake up, man.
Practically standing over me, and then he grabbed the sliding door, which I didn't even realize I was lying right next to. He walked outside and closed the door. I waited a good 15 minutes before I got up and locked the door. I ran back to the front door, and I made sure I locked that as well. As soon as the doors were locked, I went to the office to see if this guy had stolen anything. I spent a while going through everything, and I couldn't tell if anything was stolen. To me, it looked like everything was still there. When I went into the kitchen, it didn't look like anything was out of place. Until I noticed one of the knives from my dad's knife set was missing. I looked everywhere for the knife, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. I was on edge that this weird guy was going to come back. The next morning, I asked every one of my friends if they knew who that guy was, and nobody did. When I finally talked to Dustin and asked him about the guy, he had no idea who he was either. I asked if his cousin knew him, and Dustin told me that the guy was being weird and he was freaking them out. He kept following Dustin's cousin around, but not saying anything. He was just acting like a super creep, which is why they ended up suddenly leaving and not saying goodbye. Thankfully, I never saw the guy again. I truly have no idea who he was. He just showed up at the house and started acting like a creep. He had to be the one who took the knife, and I don't even want to begin to think why. The more I've reflected on that night, I was able to confirm that it was definitely the creepy guy I saw leaving my bedroom when I woke up. I have no idea what he wanted, and I think that's what freaks me out so much about this story.
Gotta be careful, bro. Everything you do, you gotta be careful, bro. Eyes on 10. Eyes always on 10 for Sholioli.
Several years back, one of my best friends, Riley, worked here in town as something called a location manager, or location producer. What that means is that he would scout local areas for directors who would be shooting movies here. At the time, our small town was trying to entice filmmakers to come here and shoot movies for cheap. During that time, some no-name director wanted to come here and shoot a horror movie since the area looked like every location from every Stephen King novel. When the director came to visit the town...
And bro, just speaking on horror movies or horror games, I cannot wait for Halloween to come out, bro. A game called Halloween, bro. Just can't wait, bro. I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna have a freaking blast, bro.
We took him all around and showed him this one house, which, according to local lore, is supposed to be cursed or haunted. Of course, nobody from the century actually believed that, but it was fun that our town had its own little Amityville horror campfire tale. When the director found out, he became obsessed with this house and practically insisted on filming some of his scenes in there. Riley wasn't as much of a skeptic as most of us are, so he was a little uneasy about trying to get access to the house. But ultimately, he didn't want to let the director down. So the next day, Riley tracked down whoever owned the property and asked if they could use the house for several scenes they wanted to film. Riley said the owner was some creepy old guy who smelled like death. According to Riley, this guy gave him a really bad feeling. Riley was sure that the guy was going to put up a fight about using the house, but he said he agreed to let them use it with almost no fight back. The director was pumped, and they continued to work on the pre-production of the film.
It's the house y'all trying to... Monster House, get off my lawn! You know what I'm saying? Mr. Dane Nevercracker? You know what I'm saying? What is you talking about, gang? We filming in Monster House? Ever watch Monster House, man? Get off my lawn. I said get off my lawn. But Mr. Nevercracker ain't play about that dang lawn, man. You know what I'm saying? Whole time the dang house came alive and everything. I was like, oh my God. Bro, if y'all never watched Monster House, bro, you need to watch Monster... Y'all, bro. All the little kids is watching me, bro. Yo, we had a great generation, brother. I know I brag about my generation a lot because we the best. You know what I'm saying? But Monster House, bro. Cuz. And it's animated too. It's animation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if y'all want any good cartoons, y'all just let me know. Your boy Jay will put you on, man. You know what I'm saying? Monster House. It's a lot of dang. I like the Polar Express. You know what I'm saying? The Christmas Carol. Oh my God, it's just so much, so much, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Doc McStuffins. We can go with everything. Doc McStuffins, Sophia the First. Doc McStuff. Oh my God, look, we finna get. Oh my God.
That night, a few of the locals who were working on the pre-production aspects of the film decided to take Riley out to celebrate. Apparently, this was the last location they needed to lock down before setting up a schedule to record. He didn't want to go alone, so he dragged me with him. Those film crew people sure knew how to party. We started hopping from bar to bar, and we were feeling good. There was a woman there with us partying. I don't know if she was a producer or what her role on the film was. All I know is that she was working on the film in some capacity. Anyway, I was starting to vibe with her throughout the night. Her name was Jade. A little after 1 in the morning, Jade suggested to the group of us, which at this point was 6 people, that we go to the allegedly haunted house and check it out. Riley immediately shot it down. Since I didn't have anything to lose, and I was trying to impress this girl, I basically teamed up with her and tried to get the group on board with the idea.
Of course.
When everyone else got on board, Riley finally caved in and agreed to join us. Jade said that we would have the perfect excuse if we got caught. We could just say that we were doing some pre-production work at night, and knowing that the house is abandoned, we figured it would be less disruptive to the neighborhood doing it then. It sounded great to me, but that's not how this type of situation works. We would still need approval from the owner to enter the property, and Riley was worried that if we got caught, we would lose permission to use the house. It was a tense drive to the house. I could tell Riley was upset, and I felt like a jerk that I didn't back him up. When we got there, I came to my senses for a brief moment and tried to get the group to reconsider going into the house. Jade started to call me a coward in a flirtatious way.
Look, bro, all that coward, whatever. It's not coward, bro. It's called being smart, bro. See, I'm one of them people, bro. If I don't want to do something, bro, and I've always been like that, bro. And if y'all like that, bro, stay like that, bro. Don't ever let anybody convince you to do something that you don't want to do. You say I'm scared, you dang right I'm scared. Okay? You gonna whoop me about it? That's how I look at it. Is you gonna do something to me about it? All you gonna do is talk. You ain't gonna punish me. I'm scared. If I'm so scared, then beat me up right now. Then let's hit right now if I'm so scared then. That's all you gotta do. If I'm so scared, me and you right now, let go. Let's see how scared I am. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't finna go into that freaking house. You know, you're such a buzzkill, all right? Whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't finna go inside the house. Can't manipulate me to do things I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. It is what it is. And like I said, for me, I know me. Very fun guy, but it's a difference between being fun and being stupid. It's just plain stupid right here. Freak, I'm finna go in a random house that we don't even own. I ain't finna be stupid. I can have fun now. You know what I'm saying? But remember, like I said, y'all, it's the difference between fun and stupid. A lot of y'all hang around some stupid people and they call it fun. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of stupidity. Think life a movie. Nah, ask me to do something stupid. You're on your own, partner. Ain't nothing you can say make me do something I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, oh, you know it's a problem.
And my efforts to get them to reconsider
that's on the slide
right away. One of the guys tried to open the door, and surprisingly, it was unlocked. The 6 of us walked in quietly. It was extremely cold in there. It wasn't exactly warm outside, but it was noticeably colder inside the house for some reason. Everyone we were with looked fascinated, like they were looking at buried treasure, except for Riley, who looked like he was going to be sick. He kept complaining about the smell, but none of us smelled anything. We didn't walk very far. The front door led to mostly empty living room. We were all still standing in that room, just using our phones as a flashlight, when we heard movement coming from upstairs. I'm well aware that houses like this make all sorts of crazy noises since everything is wooden and old. But this noise we heard upstairs was unmistakably footsteps. It was clearly the pattering of steps going from one side of the room to the other. We all stood completely still. Jade insisted that we check it out. Riley put his foot down and he said he was leaving. The other guys in the group also didn't want any part of the confrontation, so they all went outside with Riley. Unfortunately, I couldn't let Jade go upstairs alone. Even though I wanted nothing to do with whoever may be running around up there, we quietly snuck up the stairs, which were in the back of the house. Right next to the stairs was a door. I tried to open it just to see what was behind it, and it was locked. I found it incredibly weird that this door was locked, but the front door was open. When Jane started to go upstairs, I followed closely behind her. I noticed when we were on the stairs that the footsteps had stopped. We were tiptoeing as quietly as we could.
Bro, you gotta be a man, bro. You know what I'm saying? Clearly she ain't getting the message. Stop being so whipped with coochie. I mean, y'all dudes nowadays, y'all dudes do these days, many women got so much power over y'all dudes don't make no dang sense. Dudes, you don't want to do it, but you gonna do it just because she a girl. I don't give a dang how beautiful you is. See, you gotta understand, that coochie junk don't work with me. I'm a man that got self-control. I ain't driven by lust. I ain't driven by beauty. I love beautiful women, don't get me wrong, but I ain't driven by it. I ain't the type of person that just so hypnotized. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. Whatever you want me to do, I'll just do it. Oh my God. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever. I will follow you off a bridge for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? F that. You know what I'm saying? The heck with your beauty and the heck with your coochie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if I don't want to do anything, the boy Jay not gonna do it. Motherfuckers be simping out for the coochie, boy. You're trying to, you know what I mean? Trying to make it feel like you a strong man. You want to be the one. Look at my face.
When we got upstairs, it was eerily quiet up there. No sounds at all. We took a few steps forward down the hall, and I expected that at any moment someone was going to run at me, but nothing ever happened. I was starting to think that this woman, Jade, whom I just met, had some kind of death wish because she decided to shout into the darkness if anybody was there. I almost fainted when she did this, but no response. We looked in all the rooms upstairs. There wasn't
Bro said I almost fainted.
anybody in any of the rooms. I won't lie, I was freaked out. We clearly heard movement upstairs, but there was clearly nobody up there. We started going downstairs, and Jade made a joke about how she was sad that we didn't get to see a ghost. When we got to the first floor, the door that was next to the staircase that had just been locked a few minutes ago was now randomly opened. I don't just mean unlocked. I mean the door was legitimately wide open. I looked at the open door and noticed that it led to a pitch black basement. Jade looked terrified for the first time since we entered the house. Instead of being scared, I was starting to think that this was a practical joke. It just seemed so unbelievable. I attempted to go into the basement, and Jade grabbed my hand and begged me not to. I admit I was being ignorant here. I was blatantly ignoring her because I was sure I was being messed with.
Bro.
I went downstairs, and it was even colder down there than the rest of the house.
But nobody playing with you, bro.
Which made sense to me since this was the basement after all. It was so dark down there, and it smelled horrible. I figured the smell was some kind of backed up sewage. I was trying to use my cell phone flashlight, but it was barely doing anything. As I was whipping my phone around the room, I thought I saw something move near some boxes on the floor. It made me jump just out of sheer shock, but I instantly decided in my head that it was just the shadows from my flashlight that freaked me out. I started walking over to the boxes to investigate it myself. While I was walking over, I started to think about the possibility of someone being over there, maybe a homeless person, and I didn't want any trouble. I know homeless people can be harmless, but where I live, they're usually dangerous, and I was not equipped in any way to defend myself. When I was a few feet away from the boxes, I clearly saw a shadow get up from behind the boxes and run over to the other side of the room. It was so fast and so dark that I couldn't see anything or make out any details besides just the shadow from my phone light.
You're laughing?
I felt the wind hit me in the face when he rushed by me. I had no idea what this was, and I didn't want to find out. I ran over to the stairs and I announced to whatever was down there that I was leaving and that I was sorry for intruding. Just before turning and running up the stairs, I heard a whisper from the basement say to me, "Don't leave just yet." I paused for a second and then freaked out and ran out of the basement. Jade was still standing there at the top of the stairs. She heard the whisper as well and was hysterical. We ran out of the house and Riley was still outside with the other guys. We got into the car and started driving away. I told them what happened, and they looked terrified. I still wasn't sure if somehow these guys were messing with me. However, the way they were all acting made me feel like they weren't messing with me. Joke or not, this night messed up Riley. He didn't want anything to do with that house. The next day, he called the director and told them that he couldn't film there for safety reasons. He made up some excuse about the house just not being safe to film, and the cast and crew could get hurt working inside there. The director was upset, but gave up fighting after a while. When Riley told the owner of the property that they weren't shooting there anymore, the man just laughed and thanked Riley for his consideration. A few months later, the project fell through, and they didn't even shoot that specific movie here. Apparently, the director wanted a ridiculous amount of money to fund the movie, and it just wasn't possible. Whenever I relive that night, I still can't believe what I witnessed. It doesn't make any sense to me. Part of me still feels like it had to be a prank, but what would be the point of continuing the joke all these years later? I saw the fear in all of their eyes, and that wasn't fake. I don't know that I fully believe the house is haunted, but something is for sure not right in that house, and I'll be happy never going back and finding out for sure.
Freaking crazy.
Some people in this world are just messed up. I never realized just how crazy some people can be until one night I had
Never realized that? All my life I've dealt with weird people. Why you think I hang alone? You know what I'm saying? Bro, you got some weird... Man, I tell you, I said it, man. Word to the wise. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Don't bust my balls. You know what I'm saying? But, man, once you step outside that door, even when you inside the crib, always be on alert. Even when I'm inside the crib, the 40 always around me. I'm always alert. Because what if tonight, you feel me? Because we hear about home invasions all the time. We hear about people getting killed in their home all the time. What if tonight is the night where robbers come at my door? Because the people that got killed, the people that the home invasion happened to, they didn't think it was going to happen to them. You got to be alert everywhere, but especially when you step outside that door. When you step outside that door, but you got to be alert. One goal should be on your mind. And I'm speaking to every woman and every man that's watching this video. One goal should be on your mind, and that's making it back home. Making it back home. You got all type of crazy people in this dang world. You never know. What if you go to the grocery store and that's where a mass shooter coming at? Things happen. Mass shootings, I promise you, none of them victims thought they were going to be victims. That's how I think. But a lot of y'all be walking around. What a phone at, y'all. So oblivious, it can never happen to me. Shoot. Other than me, I be looking like, before I even step outside somewhere, I told y'all, don't bust my ball. 5 minutes. Before I even step outside, I'm waiting in my car 5 minutes just looking around. Because what if a freaking suicide bomber around this mother effer? Too much stuff going on in the world. This man Trump tweaking out. What if somebody a freaking bomber? One of the people that just killed themselves, strap on bombs around this mother. Man, I'm always looking, bro. You got to think like that, bro. You better be 10 steps ahead in this world, bro, for real. You being 10 steps ahead in this world, bro, will save you from a lot of danger, bro. Whole time, bro, I'm in my car just looking around, just looking at everybody. 5 minutes, man. I just challenge y'all, bro. Every time you step outside that freaking door, bro, whether you going to a grocery store, wherever the freak you going, just stay in your car for 5 minutes and just people watch. The most interesting thing to do in the world is people watch, boy. You ain't stalking a mother effer, you just watching people. Because you can tell what's something wrong about a mother effer just by their body language. Just look at them. When somebody ain't think you looking at them, that's when their true self come out. You be all the way in the... See, I told you, I'm that person. Y'all look at me right. I'm that person. This my car. And mother effer, this you. Y'all see that car mess? So the whole time I'm right here looking at you from I don't know how many feet away and you down there. I'm just staring right at you. I never get out of my car just to get out of my car. I never do that. Unless it's a mercy, unless I need to get out of my car immediately. That's the only time I'm just getting out of my car. But bro, I be looking around some of y'all, bro. And I just be thinking like, dang, what if I was a crazy mother? What if I was a serial killer? What if I was somebody crazy? What if I was a bomber? You would be dead by now. Like the way that y'all, I just be like, the way people walk around this world just so unaware. No, No wonder it's so many people that die in victims. Because you easy targets. I'm like, I just be looking at some people. One thing I never do, I never touch this phone. I never touch that when I'm outside. Even when I'm driving. I put that phone down. You motherfuckers, even when y'all be driving. Y'all be so unaware about things that's going around. Somebody just snatch your butt up, put you in the truck, nobody ever see you again. You would have seen it coming if your face ain't in the phone. But for y'all motherfuckers, y'all face so in y'all phone, you ain't even seeing what's going around. One thing about it, I tell you this, my face ain't never in that phone when I step outside them doors. When I step outside this door, it's war to me. It's war. Step outside them doors, that's how you gotta look at it. I gotta make it back home. Because there's a lot of people that step outside that door, thought they was coming back home and they never came back. How many people step outside that door thinking they was gonna come back home, thinking it was gonna be another day? Turns out it was never another day. Turns out they never came back home. Y'all gotta think like that. Gotta think like that. It's a crazy motherfucker around me right now because you never know who you walking across from. You never know. You never know, gang. I'm going to keep it real with you. And I'm going to just tell her how it is. One of my used to be partners, I cut him off now. One of my used to be partners, Cub went and freaking murdered, you know what I'm saying? Freaking went and murdered, you know what I'm saying? Innocent people downtown. Whole time, me and Keon was just with this motherfucker. I don't give a F, I'm going to tell her how it is. Me and Keon was just with this motherfucker a couple of weeks back. Whole time I see this motherfucker done went and killed and shot motherfuckers. I ain't gonna say who he is. I ain't gonna say who my used to be partner is, but if you watching this, you know who the freak I'm talking about. Whole time, we thinking this motherfucker regular. Whole time, this motherfucker went to go shoot people downtown. You see what I'm saying? So you never know who the freak you what's the name. We was throwing the football with a motherfucker, and then next thing I see, this motherfucker done killed innocent people downtown. So just never know who the freak you around, gang. And you watching this, bro, I don't mean to, you know what I'm saying, what's the name, but what he did was wrong, bro. And I'm all about wrong, bro. I ain't trying to downplay your brother or whatever, bro. But like I said, what bro did is wrong. Bro killed innocent people, cuz. And it's simple. He deserved to go to jail. He deserved all that, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Just because if you my used to be partner, that don't mean I'm on your side, bro. Hey, nah, bro killed innocent people. Bro deserved to go to jail. So I got to use that fence, cuz I don't know, bro. And I ain't cool with you no more, cuz. So I can speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, cuz, I didn't know cuz was like that. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the football with cuz. Next minute later, motherfucker killed innocent people. Yeah, for real.
Encounter. I
was throwing football with a motherfucker. Next minute later, that motherfucker, you know what the heck was on bro's mind? What if I was the people that he would have killed, bro? What if I was that people? I'm throwing a football with this man. Me and Kill, he look like a normal motherfucker, bro. Next minute, I know. That man go downtown and kill innocent people, bro.
Forget. One of my best friends was getting married, and his best man literally paid for all of us groomsmen to travel to Cape Cod. Usually, I would be annoyed to have to spend a lot of money to travel for a bachelor party, but I wasn't going to complain about basically a free trip with my boys. The entire trip was going to be 3 overnights, which is excessive for a bachelor party in my opinion, but it was still cool. We spent the days on the beach, and at night, we would go out and drink at some of the bars. We especially liked this one bar that was right on the water. The first night out, I met a girl named Brittany. She was a local girl, and we hit it off right away. The next day, we were texting the whole time. That night, we all went out again. My friends wanted to find a different bar, but I decided to stay at the one from the night before so I could hang out with Brittany. In my defense, he insisted that I hang out with her, so that's exactly what I did. We spent a couple of hours at the bar having some drinks and just talking and getting to know each other. Once we were feeling really good from the beverages we'd consumed, she asked if I wanted to go for a walk on the beach.
Hey, everybody be drinking? Golly, bro.
I thought this would be a great way for the two of us to get some alone time, so without hesitation, I was ready for our beach walk. We walked for a while. For the first big chunk of the walk, we were walking on what I assumed was a private beach because there were houses that backed up against the beach. She told me that we were okay walking here, and who knows, maybe we were. We eventually walked far enough that there were no more houses. We were traversing rocks. It was dark enough that it was kind of hard to see where we were going. I didn't care about any of that. What I cared about was that it finally seemed like we were completely alone.
I ain't never heard about a private beach. What you? Maybe I don't, but I ain't never heard about a beach that's private. How can it be private when you don't own that? You don't own that motherfucker. That's God's creation. I wouldn't even be surprised, bro. Humans try to take over God's private beach. Motherfucker, I can walk this dang beach. What the heck wrong? This ain't your creation. This is God's water. What the freak is? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never heard about no private beach. Private beach. What?
I was mentally preparing to
make a public
move.
Beach never closed, right?
Noticed Brittany making a weird face as she looked off into the distance a little bit. I asked what she was looking at, and she pointed at a rock cluster that was about 20 feet away from where we were standing. With a confused voice, she asked if I could see that guy standing over there. I was squinting and trying to focus my eyes in the dark, and I didn't see anything. I asked her where she saw this guy. She doubled down and pointed even harder. She kept saying that it's right there, and she was almost annoyed that I couldn't see what she was talking about. I finally saw what I thought she was talking about. I told her it was just a rock.
Hey, bro, don't be them type of man, bro. I told you just a rock, bro. You supposed to get in protection mode right there, bro. Don't be one of them type of... Don't let her be stronger than you in this situation, please, brother.
I could get her attention back. However, she couldn't let it go. She was adamant that it was a person. It was just way too dark out there to tell for sure. She said that she was going to move in closer to get a better look and to prove to me that it was a person. As I was telling her that it was clearly a rock, I saw the figure move. I stopped her from moving forward and admitted that I thought she may be right. We were only about 10 feet away now, and I could clearly see that it was a person. He almost looked like he was partially kneeling on the rock. As my eyes were getting more used to the darkness, I was able to clearly see that he was wearing a worn-out maroon-colored hat. I felt like an idiot that I couldn't tell whether it was a person before getting this close. I quietly leaned over to Brittany and told her that we should probably leave, just in case. She agreed. We quietly retreated off the rocks and started heading back the way we came. I didn't realize it right away, but after a few minutes of walking, I noticed that the man we saw was following us. He was a good distance behind us, but it was him for sure. We could see the same maroon hat. Brittany looked a little nervous, and I tried to tell her that it was nothing to worry about. He's probably just walking in the same direction as us. She didn't agree. She told me that random guys like this don't just walk on this specific part of the beach at this hour of night. I thought she was overreacting.
Bro, he thought she was overreacting, bro. It seemed like she more aware than you, and you supposed to be the man, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know for certain I would have spotted him out. I ain't gonna lie to you. You so worried about getting her attention. I think you're overreacting, bro. F that, bro. You can get her attention any other day, bro. We need to worry about this person on this beach, bro. You so focused on you and her time, bro. F that, bro. Who the freak is this on the beach, bro?
I looked back again, and now the guy was moving toward us with a little more zip in his step. Brittany started to freak out, and I was scared myself now. I suggested that we run, and she agreed. We were moving fast, and when I turned around, the man in the maroon hat was now also sprinting like we were. There was no denying it this time. This guy was running after us. We eventually got to the part of the beach where the houses were.
I ain't running.
I told Brittany to trust me, and I grabbed her hand, and we ran to the backyard of one of the houses. We jumped the fence, and instead of running down the road, we got on the ground and hid under the Jeep that was in the driveway. Brittany was holding her hand over her mouth, and I was just trying to keep my composure. I was freaking out on the inside. I was hoping that the man wouldn't chase us off the beach. Unfortunately, that hope didn't get me anywhere. While we were under the Jeep, I saw the man walk down the driveway. I could see his feet. They were bloody and dirty. They were a foot or two away from my head. The scariest part was that the man wasn't running anymore. It was like he knew we were hiding. We just stayed completely still, so hopefully the man wouldn't have any idea where we were. Maybe the strangest part of this encounter wasn't the man or the disgusting feet, but it was the noise the man was making. He was making a clicking sound with his tongue. While he was walking by, I noticed that he was carrying something shiny in his hand. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I swear that this guy had a machete. He was holding it, and it was swinging on the side of his leg. If not that, then it was a very large knife. It took a while, but he finally passed the Jeep. I could see him slowly walking down the street. When he was several houses down, I gestured to Brittany to shimmy out from under the Jeep and quietly head back to the beach. We did just that, and once we were back on the beach, we sprinted all the way back to where we started. Every minute I looked back, expecting to see the maroon hat running after us, but he never came back. When we got back to the bar, we were both still on edge for the strange man on the beach. We called an Uber and went back to the Airbnb where my friends were hanging out. The guys were creeped out, and I didn't blame them. Brittany and I were basically still shaking. That was the first time I had ever had a strange encounter, and I hope it's the last. I'm lucky to have left this physically unharmed. Wherever that man is today, I hope he's not still terrorizing people on the beach.
And that's where, you know what I'm saying, that's where freaking having a gun comes in. That's why I was saying, y'all, I ain't running. What I'm running for when I got a weapon on me? You got a machete, I got a 40. Freak you mean? You know what I'm saying? You got a machete, I got a 40. The freak you talking about, boy? You know what I'm saying? What about that? I ain't worried about that, bro. That's why I was saying, like, so being a gun owner, you kind of get a little bit more confident. Now, they ain't right if I had no dang gun, the mother ever chasing me with a machete, I'm getting the freak up out of there. Whoop-de-daisy. I'm out. I'm gone. Don't bust my balls. I ain't one of them overly tough, man. F that. But yeah, Jay, I thought you boxed. Yeah, I boxed, but I can't box a dang machete. What I'm gonna do? Gonna cut my dang hand open. You know what I'm saying? Bro got a machete, bro. We running. We getting the freak up out of there. But being a gun owner, bro, you know, we got confidence, man. You know what I'm saying? It's confidence with ourselves, man. Freak, I'm finna run when I got pipe on me. I'm finna let these shots off. I bet you start running eventually. You know what I mean? I'm finna let these shots off. Hey, girl, get behind me. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Having, like I said, man, having a gun, man, gives you confidence when it comes to people like this. But anyways, man, it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy. Before you end up like busy, your boy Jay will live stream tonight, man. Your boy Jay's out, man. Gang.